Daniels.
Yes. Regular meeting minutes of September the 5th, 2017. What say you?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lopez.
Yes.
Tulisa.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes. Workshop closed session minute meetings that same evening of September the 5th, 2017.
Motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lopez.
Yes.
Tulisa.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes, thank you. Monthly reports and communications are posted on the bulletin board in the foyer. There are no scheduled appointments for tonight. At this time, I would like to open up the meeting to the public on agenda items only. We're open. Mr. Lopez. Good evening, sir.
Just a quick question about your two ordinance and one resolution. So the first one is resolution D 11917.
Correct.
You clarify or?
Yeah, basically all we're doing is just memorializing in public contract for our township administrator that was discussed in executive session, and it was invariably voted on in public session, and to make it abundantly clear so that we, in the fullest transparency, we're doing this by way of a resolution tonight.
And ordinance B and C.
Okay. Ordinance, this is a second reading, I believe, on B, and basically, I think at our last meeting, September the 5th, this is just a flood management plan. This is a second reading. This ordinance contains the revisions necessary in order for West Hampton Township essentially to continue participation in the National Flood Insurance Program, particularly with all of the storms going on. I think West Hampton Township, and particularly it's the responsibility of this governing body to make sure that we are in compliance with any and all necessary management plans, flood management plans. So basically that's what it is. This is almost perfunctory, and
It would be easier for West Hampton residents to get flood insurance or
I would think so. I'm going to look over to my left, and I believe that's what this is all about, correct? The flood
I
management
think,
plan?
didn't Darrell explain it
He
last meeting?
It allows you to continue to participate in the
Yeah.
flood insurance program.
Here he
Oh,
is.
he's right here.
Yeah,
Okay,
he spoke to this last meeting.
right, yeah. I realized that, Mr. Lopez, and I started to say that as well, but I realized that we're broadcasting live, so for those residents or those individuals that are out there in social media world that may not have been at the last meeting or on your social media broadcast, Sergeant Caulfield, the flood management plan, and I know that you're just walking in, if you could just reiterate, we're memorializing by way of second reading tonight the flood damage prevention management plan, and this is just to allow residents an opportunity that if we were to experience the unmentionable of a flood in West Hampton Township, that we would, residents and the municipal body would have an opportunity to, if you will, be made whole under this program?
So what the National Floodplain Insurance Program is because the floodplain changes frequently because of the way the environment changes, they update the maps, the floodplain maps, on an annual basis. And what it does is it allows the residents and other property owners to make sure that they have the appropriate amount of insurance based on those maps. So if you are in a floodplain, it I guess makes you aware that you need
Insurance.
insurance taken out of that.
Okay.
It's a FEMA program, and it's just to raise awareness, to make people aware of what they need, and if they need to take certain mitigation actions
Okay, thank you. That answers? Okay. And you had number C?
Yes.
And that's the amend Township, West Hampton, traffic, violation, from provisions, turn provision. Yeah, this is basically a first reading. I believe this is the Wawa convenience store. Obviously Springside Road with the most recent construction, and obviously with the improvement of the Wawa right there at that corner, we felt as though it was necessary, and I believe this was by Deputy Mayor. You can, help me out here. I believe it was by way of, the builder, and
I think a combination from,
The county put a condition on it when they approved it, that there can be no left turn.
okay, no left turn. So there you go.
Danny.
Okay.
Side road to Wawa, don't you know the way?
Well, essentially, what would happen is you would exit out of, if you in fact have to come back down Springside Road, you would exit out of, onto Wood Lane Road and make, the natural left off of the light.
his time is
Okay.
up. Your time's up, Mr. Lopez. Sorry. Thank you for
Thank you.
coming.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? We close the public comment. Thank you. Moving right along. There's no old business, new business, fire EMS reports for July and August. Chief, you have anything to add? Okay. Fire Marshal, you have anything to add? No problems? Thanks, sir.
Chief Farnsworth had his first full day back at work today, so he needs to rest a little bit tonight.
Good, good. We're happy to, yeah,
It's good to have him back, though.
good to have him back on board. Thank you. Let's see here, Division of Solid Waste, increasing recycling rates, reducing contamination. There will be a tour of the Robert Shen Recycling Center on September the 28th, 2017, at 5:45 to 7 p.m. We're supposed to RSVP to Marion. And now, where's the Robert Shen Recycling?
It's, OTC. It's Hancock Lane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I guess,
They had one session, but it was tonight. So obviously nobody could attend that. So
Right.
I just listed the other one. They're just having problems, I think, with their exports to China, and they're really cracking down on everything, and they just want to, get the word out, I guess, see, what we can do.
can you, or, yeah, I would like to talk.
Do you want to do it?
No,
You want to go?
on.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll let them know.
And item under new business D, can't happen. Item D is actually the retirement, the notice of the retirement of the Police Chief Joe Otto. I don't think we have to take any particular action tonight, but just in case, your retirement should happen after our shelf life. Chief, I just want to thank you for all your dedicated years here of being a stalwart in our community. You've come up, I'm reminded last year when I had a chance to tour down in the basement and I saw some old tickets. There was an old ticket down there that said Patrolman Otto. So I think that just captures how long that you've been here and what you've meant to this department and everything that you've given to it, from community policing strategies, and we were one of 6 best in the state of New Jersey, to just the climate and the culture of the police department and how we've grown. I commend and I salute you and thank you for your service. And I'm sure I will have another opportunity, but I wanted to give you this opportunity tonight. Thank you. Moving right along, resolutions. Resolution 116-17, payment of vouchers. This resolution approves the payment of bills through 9/15/2017.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lopez?
Yes.
Talisa?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes.
Daniels?
Yes, thank you. Resolution 117-17, establish promotional criteria for chiefs of police. This resolution establishes the criteria necessary to be followed by the West Hampton Township Police Department when selecting a police chief.
Motion. Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, I have a couple of concerns, and I'm hoping that maybe we could amend the resolution. For the testing elements, it says oral examination by a review board consisting of the mayor and/or her designee, township administrator, and 3 commanding
Her designate?
his or slash her. Township administrator and 3 commanding or superior officers from other law enforcement agencies. Then it goes on to notice of results. There's something missing in there, and I don't like to assume, but could we possibly put in there then that the review board gives their recommendation to the township committee, and then the township committee in turn makes the appointment?
I'd second that request.
Okay, all right.
Sorry, was that a formal motion?
I'll make it as a formal motion.
Mr. Solicitor?
Yeah.
We're going to amend,
If you're going to amend it, let's make a formal motion to amend it, and I think what Trish is saying makes sense. I mean, that's what I think that language is basically unspoken, but you want to
Yeah.
add it in.
Yes.
For clarity's sake, so that makes sense.
Yes.
okay.
I do have another concern.
Is it tied?
Well, no, it has to do with another part of the resolution.
Okay. So do you want to
We can
move
do it.
this?
We
Or
can
if
move
it's
it.
tied, we might as well wait and you can do it.
Well, let me
Okay.
share it with you, and we could see how the rest of the committee feels about it. I feel that the promotional criteria could limit the pool of eligible candidates in the future. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now, and it's a concern of mine. So is there I would like to talk to you about maybe this particular resolution to be maybe revisited in a couple of years by the administrator or by the township committee to make sure that we, at that time, would adopt something with the times. So in other words, if as the town grows, as the needs of our town change, the eligibility, it might have to change somewhat. So I don't like to have a resolution on file for like 100 years, but if we could look at it on occasion. And I'll give you cite some examples. I think it's imperative that we replace the pool. If we take out of the pool of eligible candidates, we have to put a person back in there. Otherwise, we'll run into a problem. So that's one of my thoughts. The other thought would be to maybe expand the range, the pool. And how we could do that is perhaps we decide on broaden the range to, say, senior sergeants, where the police chief would groom, just like Joe, how you were groomed, and other people were groomed in certain tasks and duties that the police chief does, where normally you would not be. So at that point in time, maybe couple of years down the line, now your pool, you would have more eligible candidates to put in that pool because they've had some kind of training in some of the daily tasks or responsibilities of the police chief.
Okay. I think that,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
My opinion on that is a department our size, and I understand the concerns, and obviously a resolution you can revisit as many times as you want to, you can change the criteria, that's also what you want to. But in this particular case, were you speaking about maybe grooming sergeants? The next step for grooming from a sergeant isn't going directly to the chief. The next step for grooming of a supervisor or a sergeant will be that next rank, being lieutenant, in which we do groom our sergeants, we train them, we bring them off the road for administrative sergeant duties, and they are showed what the lieutenants do, and they are groomed to do their work. So if there's a future promotion from the rank of sergeant to lieutenant, there you have it. Now, I can see your concern, possibly down the road, if there was ever a captain's position or something like
Yes.
that above, you would open it up to captains and lieutenants.
Exactly.
So if you're opening your pool, instead of being just one captain, you have one captain, 2, 3 lieutenants. That's where I think you would change the resolution to open up the candidacy.
And that's why, right, I would not want this one to remain on the books forever, but exactly like you said, if you have another, rank put in there, that they have the opportunity.
And I think the easy answer, I'm sure Mr. Romero can address it clearer, is the resolution we changed, reviewed and changed anytime the Township Committee feels fit.
So if we could put that in there
Yeah.
as well, yeah.
That's just for this.
Yeah, and resolutions tend to be good with a committee anyway, so once there's a new committee, you can always do anything you want with a resolution. If you have 3 people that want to do it, you can revisit it.
Right.
And while I'm throwing recommendations and ideas out, my thought was, because we're big on we're residents, West Hampton residents. So down the line, you could do residency, a police officer that maybe lives and works in the town.
I understand, I guess, your perspective, having family that are in the law enforcement. I know there's some concerns with policing the community you live in for security purposes for yourself and your family. I got relatives that lock up folks and have lived in the same city of the folks they've locked up, and there's been confrontations after hours. So I don't know, we can discuss it and look, but I'm sure there's a couple of security concerns for officers.
Chief Otto, is there a requirement for new hires in the police department residency-wise?
No, there's not.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's something that we could consider, but once they move up and they go through the ranks and they're here 20 years, and their circumstances change, maybe it might be safer for them to just stay right outside of town so not everybody knows where you're at, just in case you have an issue.
Do you want to make a motion include your motion that we time limit this resolution just so it's clear? Like, this is the criteria for the vacancy created by Chief Otto.
To replace Chief Otto's
You know what,
replacement?
that might, by way of some historical knowledge, I think this is the first time in a very, very long time, surely as long as I've been on Township Committee, and it's been some 9 years, that we've had an opportunity to really look at this stringently, because prior to tonight and the impending retirement of Chief Otto, going all the way back to Chief Smith, Chief Van Skyver, Chief Bruce Reed, almost all of those guys, it was like they moved right into the position. It was obvious and apparent that that's where we were going. I know maybe 2 committees ago, we decided that what we really didn't have was that force structure that allowed from patrolman, senior patrolman, to sergeant, to lieutenant, and then we even at one point had a captain, and that's why we kind of put the captain, and then we had the chief of police. So I think we kind of have that. I'm very much agreeable that if we were to ever go back and situations warrant, and we grew, and we have lieutenant, captain, that it should be memorialized and say that, and perhaps we should look at that. Smaller departments, and some people say that West Hampton Township is a small department, but I think that we're fairly decent size compared to many other municipalities that only have 8 or 10 people on their departments. And you're looking at a situation, Chief and I were talking earlier, where a sergeant may be the senior person. Someone may leave, and it may be a lieutenant there who's imminently going to retire, and who, by way of succession, might be the sergeant who would go in. But I agree and concur that we look at those 2. So, Mr. Solicitor, should we move those 2 together? Are they joint?
How can we
If you
do
guys are
it?
comfortable with it, move it as an amendment together and do it that way.
Okay. Would you like to restate, or you want me to?
Okay, so it would be, motion would be for the review board to give their recommendation to the Township Committee, who in turn, the Township Committee will make the appointment for Chief of Police.
Mm-hmm.
And then a motion to revisit, or,
We can make this criteria specific to this vacancy.
okay, so,
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, which is even better, that it's tied to just this basic vacancy.
so, do you want to
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I have a motion,
do the first motion?
okay, yeah, and,
Now it would be for the one about revisiting
okay, yeah.
for this.
So I have a motion from Committeewoman Talicia to amend 117-17 to allow for the review board for the Township Committee to have final review and authority over review board findings? Recommendations.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And also that this set promotional criteria is tied to this vacancy only.
Correct.
Okay?
And
I have
will be revisited.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the third component, that at some point in the future,
Oh, yeah.
to be determined either by the administrator.
No.
That vacancy, so.
Because the concern is,
For this vacancy only, you'll have to revisit it.
Okay.
yeah, the
thank you.
concern is that you don't want the pool to be extremely
Got it.
limited. You want to always replenish the pool, I guess that's the best way to put it. That when we take out of the pool, we have to put a person, an
Tracking.
eligible candidate in the pool.
You tracking?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any further discussion? There being no further discussion, roll call, please.
Lopez?
Yes.
Talisa?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes.
Daniels?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Committee Woman, for that work. Resolution 118-17, authorized submission of grant application. This resolution authorizes the township to submit a grant on behalf of the Timbuktu Advisory Committee for improvements to be made to the Timbuktu site.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? There being no discussion, roll call, please.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
I was talking to her.
Oh, okay.
Procedural issues, because she's.
There was a motion for the Timbuktu Committee, by Committee.
I know, but I don't know who made the motion.
I made.
Committee Woman Talisa, and I
Maria was
second.
talking to.
I made the motion.
Sorry.
And I second.
Seconded, Abe? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, Lopez?
Yes.
Talisa?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes.
Daniels?
Yes, thank you. Resolution 119-17, authorized mayor to sign administrative contract. This resolution authorizes the mayor to sign the contract between Maria Santucci, Carrington, and the Township of West Hampton for a period to run from September the 1st, 2017 through August 31st, 2022.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I just want to make one brief comment. I'm going to vote no on this, but I want to make it clear to the residents that are present and anyone that's live streaming, it's not a vote against who's being hired. I fully support the hiring of our Administrator Maria Santucci Carrington. I think in short time, she's done a whole lot of work to get us all, how can I say, I think better prepared to serve you all in committee meetings. I think she's been a fast learner, learning all that needs to be done around this town hall. I think we've thrown a whole lot her way it's going to be a year and a half, and she's done so really well. I just personally disagree with one section of the contract. If we could piecemeal the contract, and I'm not suggesting or motioning that we do that, I would vote yes on all pieces of the contract except that one portion. Unfortunately, I don't have that luxury, so that's why I'm going to take the no, but I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that the no wasn't a personal no, and I fully support the hiring of the administrator for this position. She is more than qualified for the position, and she's been a great blessing and has helped us all on this committee. So I just wanted to be clear.
Thank you. Any other comment? Any other discussion? There being none, roll call, please.
Lopez?
No.
Talisa?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes.
Daniels?
Yes. Congratulations, and we thank you for your service.
Congratulations.
Moving right along to ordinances, ordinance 12-2017. This is an ordinance to amend Chapter 172 of the Code of West Hampton Township, Parks and Recreation. This is a second reading. This ordinance introduces regulations regarding the use of buildings, parks, playgrounds, and open space areas owned and maintained by West Hampton Township.
So moved.
Second.
Open to the public. Mrs. Berkeley.
Just a question, was the Morefield and Green Coats taken out of that? This, when we talk about the townships and Frank's meeting.
listeners. I will double check, I know I wanted to.
Because that,
I have one here, I should have it here.
I printed it.
remember 2 months ago,
It was in there?
Took the schools out.
And the ordinance itself doesn't mention Maria, so you can just adopt the ordinance.
Rehoboth Village Baseball, softball is in there, I will take it out of the facility manual.
yes, it does not belong.
We do mow it and everything, but it's not open. We do mow it though, right?
There is an agreement. There is an agreement.
Agreement to use it, but the township doesn't own it, so they can't charge money.
Or establish rules.
For the, friends meeting.
Got it. I will delete it from this manual.
So the motion is with that deleted. It's-
Thank you, Ms. Berkeley.
Thanks for checking in.
Any other public comment on this ordinance? I close discussion. So this is what we're doing. We're going to move this amendment, noting that the language of the ball field, the Friends Meeting House, will be taken out, it will be stricken from,
Yeah, it's only in the manual, it's not in the ordinance.
okay.
Oh,
Ordinance
okay.
is correct, so you can pass.
The ordinance correct, but the
All
manual
right.
is
Ordinance is
not.
correct, so that can be adopted as is, just with the proviso that the manual will be corrected.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Solicitor. Okay. Any discussion? There being none, roll call, please.
Lopez?
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes.
Daniels?
Yes, thank you. Ordinance 13-2017, this is an ordinance to repeal and amend Chapter 131, Flood Damage Prevention, formerly entitled Flood Plan Management. This is a second reading. This ordinance contains the revision necessary in order for West Hampton Township to continue participation in the National Flood Insurance Program as recommended by the Department of Environmental Protection. This is a second, well, may I have a motion, please?
Second reading?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. This is second reading, open to the public. Close to the public, any discussion? There being no discussion, roll call, please.
Lopez?
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes.
Daniels?
Yes, thank you. Ordinance 14-2017, amend the Code of Township of West Hampton, Chapter 232, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 1, General Provisions, Sections 232-11, Turn Prohibitions. This is a first reading. This ordinance establishes a prohibition against left turns at the Springfield Road, County Road 635, access drive located on Block 203, Lot 5. This is the Wawa convenience store. This is,
Motion.
Second.
thank you. This is a first reading. It's not open to the public. Any discussion? No? Roll call, please.
Lopez?
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes.
Daniels?
Yes. Thank you all. There is no correspondence for tonight. Dates to remember. This coming Saturday, September the 23rd, West Hampton Township Emergency Services, smoke detector testing in Torrensville in conjunction with the Red Cross. Mr. Fire Marshal, do you have anything to add?
We're going to get the fire department on, and there's about 40 of us on Saturday for free practice. We'll be in the neighborhood.
Okay. Thank you, sir. September the 23rd is the annual Timbuktu Day at 12 noon. Please, far and wide, I would encourage our neighbors, friends, families to come out and help commemorate Timbuktu Day. We are going to honor one of the stalwarts of the community, and it should be really a good day.
What are the hours, noon to?
I believe it's 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Noon to 3. Maria, is that-
The actual programs only goes for 45 minutes?
Yeah, the actual program, what we figured,
The events or whatever, like food or whatever, till 2, I believe?
Is
Right.
it 2 o'clock?
2 or 2:30?
September the 28th, recycling tours. Mentioned that earlier at the Robertson Recycling Center off of Hancock Lane. October the 8th is the Rancocas Nature Center 40th anniversary. We will be presenting a proclamation to commemorate that. October the 12th, it's a groundbreaking ceremony for the Willows at West Hampton. That will be at 11 a.m. Please feel free to join me and Maria, I'm sure. October the 14th is the West Hampton PTO Fun Run. The rain date is October the 15th, 2017. I actually did that last week. I did not run. I walked. It was real prudent. I didn't want to put our emergency services at that task. But nevertheless, it was a fun day. It was crowded out there, and it's a good time. November the 14th through the 16th is the New Jersey League of Municipalities Annual Conference in Atlantic City. At this time, are there any other dates?
I have a date. The Fall Festival,
Yep.
it's Friday, October 27th, and it is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
We also have the open house at the fire department. It's coming up on the 12th, right? 12th?
At 6 o'clock.
October?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
If you get done the run, and you're hungry, you don't feel like cooking dinner, the Rain Focus and dinner is on October 14th.
Okay.
Please note it's usually the first Saturday of the month in October, and it's the second Saturday. It goes 4 to 7.
4 to 7.
They
Oh.
are very good.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Berkeley. Any other, Chief?
Couple of dates, Mayor. First one, Wednesday, October 4th is National Coffee with the Cop Day. We will be participating again this year. We haven't determined the time and location yet, but as soon as we do, we'll definitely get it out on our social media, websites and stuff. Also, Friday, October 27th, we're going to be partnering again this year with the Susan G. Komen breast cancer, and that's their fundraiser that we'll be participating in at the Crescent Shriner on Highland Drive.
Oh, is that the Crescent this year?
Same
Oh, no. This is the bag thing?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
What date?
That is Friday, October 27th. And we are honored to be invited back by Susan G. Komen to escort all the survivors from her ceremony of great adventure on Sunday, November 5th.
Awesome.
Thank you.
The 5K, they do a great adventure, or is it just a walk?
It's a 5K walk and run, plus they honor all the survivors. It's a pretty big
I remember seeing the picture. Yeah.
ceremony.
Okay. Only by way of local, and I think that it's important, particularly in times of challenge that we noted. This Saturday, father and son flooring, am I saying this right?
Yeah.
Braylon's.
Father and son floor. And a Jersey A1 painting. I'm killing the name, and if they're watching, I apologize. You want to finish?
Yeah, well, if you know a little bit more.
Yeah. They volunteered and donated brand new flooring for Braylon's bedroom and for his sister Brooklyn, and it was personalized with their favorite cartoon characters on the floor. They painted the bedrooms as well, and they furnished it with some furnishings, and it really brightened the children's day. So.
But isn't it a particular event going on this
Oh,
Saturday?
there's an event this Saturday as well. Yeah, they're hosting. They have, I guess, a few cartoon characters, and if folks want to take pictures, they're asking for donations for kids to take pictures with the cartoon characters. I believe they've received a few contributions from local vendors to sell food products at the event. So just basically, they're collecting donations for the family. And I'll take that opportunity, or I'll maybe share it during my closing remarks, just to say thank you to the residents that have gone above and beyond.
Okay. And, no, go ahead, sir.
Well, that event is going to be held in Father and Son flooring, and they're based out of Lumberton Township. Yeah. You're welcome.
Okay. And I have one more, and I almost forgot. It is Monday, November the 6th at 8:30 a.m. The West Hampton Middle School is having their Veterans Day celebration or event that they have had over the last 3 or 4 years. Ms. Malecki had reached out to me, and I wanted to mention that so we could put that on its calendar as well. There was something else, but I'll talk about it in my wrap-up, because Officer Einstein, didn't he receive an honor?
The K-9 award.
A K-9 award?
He did, that was in my report.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Got it. All right. I think that's it. Do we have anything else? Mr. Lopez, you've been a man about town in all of the committee meetings. Nothing else to add? Okay. All right, thank you, sir. We appreciate you, Lou. At this time, I'd like to open up the meeting to the public. Ms. Perkins.
Talk fast. This past week or two, I found some very interesting, concerning facts that the Mount Holly Water Company charges us $80,000 a year to run their hydrants. I doubt very much the amount of fires we have in West Hampton adds up to $80,000 worth of water. It's added to, it's also sent to West Hampton Township to pay, not the residents. Willingboro charges us $0 for the hydrants on our side of the township. And also, it's included in our bill. So if you are on the west side of the township, you pay for the hydrants in your part of the bill, and we pay for our taxes for everyone else's hydrants on their side of the bill. I think that's unfair. I think it's also unfair that we need to ask them to audit and find out why they're charging us $80,000 a year for hydrants. That's absolutely ridiculous. Secondly, concerning the chief, I noticed you wanted to revisit some things. I had a question. I know with the fire chief there are laws that say you have to promote from within. Is that the same with the police chief? Are there laws that govern how you choose a police chief like fire?
I don't want to speak out of school, but Chief, I don't think there's any laws, right? You can technically hire a chief from another town, right? It's never been done.
None that I'm aware of.
It just seems like if they would make it for the fire, they would make it for the police.
I wouldn't be opposed to,
So maybe we need to look at
yeah.
that. I'm concerned about making it that it has to be someone who lives in West Hampton. You might miss out on somebody who could be a wonderful chief, but they can't sell their house in Cinnamon because they're underwater with their mortgage. I mean, that really kind of makes it very difficult for us. And then also opening it up to anybody in the state to become a chief, I think you might run into some political problems. So I like what we do now, and I just am concerned that we need to really think things through if you look at redoing this. Lastly, I know I've got only 3 minutes. I'm disheartened. I am so sad you're leaving. Oh my word. I think if we were to list all the accomplishments of the West Hampton Township Police, and I do believe in trickle-down leadership, I think it would be bigger than Santa's list at Christmas. It just seems like every meeting we have some kind of award or some kind of fundraiser or some kind of good doing that our police are doing, and it's just amazing. I mean, I hear from other people who are policemen in other areas who say, what a great police staff you have. And I think a lot of it is because of the men and women that are there, but also our chief. And I'm very sad. So thank you very much.
We join you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Berkeley. Any other public comment? Mr. Lopez?
I've got 2 quick questions about residents of Wisconsin. I wonder if you heard anything about Mr. McDonald. He used to come here. He's a
Veteran.
Yeah, veteran. Have you heard anything for the last few months?
No, haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Mr. Milan, as you're saying?
Yeah.
I saw him not that long ago. He was in the building.
Oh, just
Yeah.
I'm going to call, but it's just curious.
Don't scare us, Swiss.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Reach out and check on him.
I want to thank you to many viewers, especially one viewer from West Hampton, saying he did thank you for your tape of the meeting. As been, I was having surgery and through the view right here while they had a test that he said his operating ease, he could listen to it. He said thank you for me. And have you seen any correspondence for the NBA, about the NBA?
Yeah, we got something today. an invitation to tour the facilities. Let's see, I think everybody got it, but I got one. We were invited to tour the Mount Holly Municipal Utilities Authority on Friday, October 26th, from 9 a.m. to noon.
That's on, the Maple, road, right?
Pardon me?
In Lumberton.
Maple Avenue.
This is Maple Avenue, Lumberton.
Lumberton.
And I hope everybody, appreciate, recording it, and anybody sees it, if you.
It's a public service.
I hope you think what you're wishing for. I hope I do. And, like I say, I'm waiting for, September the 23rd, there's 2 events. I think West Township, that's at noon, if you got one, and then another Township, I think it started at 9, all the way to noon.
Right, yeah.
As soon as that comes, I'll take a left for you here. Appreciate it.
No,
And, thank you.
that's it?
Thank
Well,
you.
we thank you, Lou. We thank you. Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Close public comments? Department heads? Chief, anything else? No? Okay. Look forward to joining you gentlemen out there and ladies, for the 5K. Of course, we'll be walking again. And the thing at the shrine. That was a fun night. Good night. Good, even better cause. Even better cause. LT? Nothing? Sorry?
No, sir.
No? Fire marshal?
Not as your fire marshal, but one as an employee, if you allow.
Okay.
We'll allow it.
Oh,
Appreciate that. Well, actually congratulate you all and West Hampton for retaining the employee who's character comes there. She's pretty awesome to deal with on fire, so we appreciate that.
well said. Thank you, sir. Awesome. Mr. Solicitor?
Nothing here, just congrats to Maria for being re-upped, and best of luck to the chief. I don't continue to see you here, obviously, but congrats.
Yes, sir. Ma'am?
Thank you for the contract. I'm glad not to worry about that for 5 years.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna miss you, but I'll see you.
All right. Say to have, we'll sign his retirement with disappearing ink, right? Oh, guess what? Can't go.
Just slowly get.
Yeah, they, Marion?
Congratulations, Maria. Continue working together.
Go ahead and see you.
Awesome. Don? Yeah,
Congrats to Maria and Chief Otto.
awesome. Sorry?
Yes, sir.
Nothing? Okay. John, you've been awful quiet over there, man. How you been?
Ahead of schedule. Ahead of schedule. I just want to thank everybody that came out today. Again, the department heads, everybody's doing a good job. I just had an incident last night. I'm not sure if Chief Otto's aware of it, but my wife went to let the dog out, and there was some people walking through my yard, a couple of kids. So, of course, by the time I get out there, I jumped in my truck, and we called Central, just because we didn't know if somebody was trying to have my bike out back, or you never know. Of course, I think it was Sergeant Bieri was there. I found the kids, a couple of teenagers. Apparently my yard is a popular cut through that and I saw it through the grass. They just were passing by, but, I want to commend you guys for handling that quickly, and in a really, really fast manner. Nothing happened. No charges were pressed, but they were very professional and courteous and quick. So I want to thank your men. Again, congrats on your retirement. Congratulations to Maria for her contract. She definitely deserves it. And other than that, enjoy the fall weather.
Cool. Thank you. Ma'am?
Chief Otto, you have been wonderful. You have protected and served our town and our residents for years and years. And I am very sad to see you go. So it's bittersweet, sad for us, but happy for your family and you, because now you have the chance to do whatever you want to do. So enjoy, with your family, and don't forget us. And Maria, congratulations, and I'm really glad that you will be with the township for years to come. You're a great asset.
Thank you.
Dan?
I want to congratulate, of course, Maria again. Everybody has said great words, and they all speak for me as well. Looking forward to the next couple of years of positive interactions and trying to move this township forward in a positive way. And benefiting from your advice, your counsel, it's been fun to date, and I'm sure it's going to get even better as the time goes by. I'm not going to eulogize Chief Otto. We still got some more time left to work with the chief, and I'm sure we're going to give him a proper send-off. So definitely deserving, and I'll save my remarks for then. I want to thank all the residents that have been supporting the Daniels family. The Braylon's Warriors Fund has done a lot of good for the family. Without entering into the private details of the family situation, it's provided for a whole lot. And we've only been able to do that because of the contributions of many, many folks in the town and outside of the town. Just for transparency's sake, if anybody has any questions or concerns, would like to know, would like to see, anything regarding the funds and how they're being administered and used, it's an open book. It's a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization, and everyone has the right and the access to that information. Obviously, for the discretion of the family and their privacy, we prefer to do that on a one-on-one basis. So if anybody has any concerns, any doubts, or any questions about anything, I just want to make sure everybody knows that you're welcome to have access to that information. I've received a invitation by the Mount Holly Municipal Utilities Authority to tour it, one that which I plan to accept. I also received a letter of, I think the proper word is commendation. Officer Woods was attending a call for a special needs child. If I understood the family's letter, the child has had some issues before. Many officers have interacted, and the parents believe that the department, by and large, does a great job handling children with special needs. But they said Officer Woods goes way above and beyond and kind of has a special touch when it comes to special needs children. And they called me and then emailed me, and they really would like to see the officer be publicly commended for his work with special needs children. So I leave that to the chief and the department if they feel that that's something that is worthy of pursuing. I think everybody on this committee would embrace or would be supportive of publicly commending the officer in a little ceremony maybe, or a little something on one of the upcoming meetings.
Just to follow up on that, I'm sure you didn't get to it yet because I just did not too long ago. I did follow up to that email, and I explained about our department awards and things like that, so you'll be able to read that shortly.
Perfect.
It'll be taken care of.
Perfect. So that's that. And then lastly, I just wanted to present something to the colleagues and to the residents regarding following up on the Mount Holly Municipal Utilities Authority, just for us to consider, maybe for a future meeting, some follow-up action, the postage situation regarding our residents being charged $2.25 for postage. After reviewing our agreement with the Mount Holly Municipal Utilities Authority, there's some room for us to maybe seek some relief for our residents. So maybe if we can all consider amending our previous letter and requesting some relief for this for our residents. And lastly, the piping, Citizens Media TV has been kind of a local news media that's been covering Burlington County a lot. A resident in Lumberton had raised a complaint about the pipe sizes of connecting. I guess it's one way they measure the flow rate. And the resident took the time to do this investigation and learned that the pipe that he was getting billed was much larger than what's the actual pipe. He went to all of his neighbors' homes in the development and volunteered to measure their pipes, and learned that they too were being overbilled for the wrong pipe. And it kind of led to a whole research done by this resident. He discovered that everybody in the whole township of Lumberton was being overcharged because of the wrong pipe size. And the Mount Holly MUA, I believe, conceded within the last 48 hours that possibly all residents of all towns that are serviced have been overcharged due to the wrong pipe size. However, they're not assuming responsibility. They say that the builder gave them the wrong pipe sizes for all the homes when these developments were being built. The response, obviously, from residents has been that the utility provides an inspector to inspect what the builder puts, and the inspector signed off on it. So I don't know how that's going to end, but I do think it's worthy of West Hampton Township officially seeking relief for the residents that may be affected, and let it work out the way it works out. So I just wanted to plant that as food for thought, and we can discuss it for an upcoming or future meeting. That's all I got. I want to thank everybody for coming.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight as well. Chief, I'm sure we will have additional opportunities, and I know we have a couple of events to do together, so I'm happy about that, so we'll talk. Maria, I'd like to thank you, and congratulations on the memorialization of your contract. I join with my colleagues in stating that you have been quite the difference. We all thought that Donna would have big shoes, and in fact she did. You didn't come in here trying to put Donna's shoes on. You came in here with your own shoes on, and because you did, we have been further blessed, and I'd like to thank you for that. You have been an aid to me and all of us here, making us a little bit smarter, and I think at the end of the day, that's the return on investment that the folks in this township get. So you will have an opportunity to be here for 5 years, and sometimes we come on and off. That will add to some consistency in terms of historical knowledge, so happy to have you aboard. I'd like to thank each and every employee. You guys know how I feel, so, I'm timelining now and beginning the transition, but I truly was just sitting here thinking, our professionals, everyone, all of you sitting in here, and to include our residents who come up in here. And Lou, while you're not a resident of West Hampton Township, you have provided a service, and quite frankly, when you're not here, we miss you, and when you're here and it's a tough meeting, transparency is what it is, and it gets out there. We're publicly elected officials, and we can handle it. Ms. Berkeley, I'd like to thank you. Even though I have 4 months, sometimes it charges to the head and not to the heart. We go back a long way. And you've made me a better elected official simply by way of having an opportunity to serve with you on the West Hampton School Board and the invaluable aid that you give us from time to time by way of the podium. So I just want to thank you for that. Please, 1, 2, 3, come on. Can come out to the Timbuktu Day this Saturday. It promises to be very great. We have a really robust and great calendar. Please all come out to those events as well. And also, it was on my heart because we were doing so good, and I don't want to leave on a sad note, but I would be remiss that if I did not mention that one in our community would lose her life about a week or so ago. There is a second grader, and she had a second grader, and she had a child in the middle school, and I believe there's a child at RV and a child in college. And she would lose her life by way of getting out and checking a flat tire, and a truck would hit her. And she seemed to be fine earlier in the day, but she would later succumb to her injuries. And Mrs. Malecki would also reach out to me again. So I know that there is something being planned to help this family, because from what I understand, the senior child who's in college is actually going to have to come out of college to take care of her siblings. So I don't know what kind of efforts will be put in force to help her. But I think this is time where good communities rise and come to the aid of their neighbors, and I believe Turnsfield area where she lives at. I think that's all I have. Thank you all. Entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Second.
We're adjourned. Thank you all.
There's two.